he's coming with, it really makes no difference what the outcome is going to be. It's a It's a catch-22 situation on Esau's behalf. Yeah. Damn you do, damn you don't.
We lost a long time ago.
Yeah.
So this is verse 8. In a little wrath, I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahawah.
You might have to read it again. You're going to have to read that again.
Right, verse 8. In a little wrath, I hid my face from thee.
So peep what he's saying. Read it again. I want you to understand what he's saying real clear.
Prophet Isaiah 54 verse 8. In a little wrath, I hid my face from thee.
So he said in a little wrath. So what we're going through right now, even though we look at it as major wrath, but the Lord likened our wrath to a little wrath. This is why Paul said himself. He said, matter of fact, brother, give me that. Give me Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, I believe it's 14. Right. The Most High looks at this as a little wrath in comparison to the great kindness he's going to show.
Yeah.
You understand? So again, we can't, even though we really can't do it because we're in the flesh and we're in a lower level, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, when this world is destroyed, we're going to be all right. We're going to be real good. Okay? We're going to be like good. We're going to be good. So all of the pains and the things that make you frustrated in this life, it's just for a temporal moment of time.
For a small moment.
It's for a small moment. Yeah, read on, brother. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
It says in verse 7, for a small moment.
No, that's not the
have I forsaken. Meaning, because you what? Forsaken thee.
You know the one where it says
they made us a no people. You're talking about for what? 2,000 years. The Lord forsake us. Around that amount of time. From like Hosea, because it was Hosea said, they are not my people. Is it Lo and me and La Ruhama? They're not my people.
Yep.
So the Lord cast us away, and he said in Hosea 1 and 10, it says, in the place where it said unto thee, thou art not my people, it will be said unto them, you are the sons of the living God. So that was a prophecy that Hosea said. So around that time period of the prophets up to Yahawashi, the Lord pretty much cast us away as a people. And that's why Yahawashi came. Yahawashi was the Redeemer, to reconcile us. He was the mediator, to die for our sins so we can be reconciled back unto our God again. Because the Lord had what initially cast us away because of our sins, according to Isaiah 59 verse 2, right? So it says Isaiah 54 verse 7, right? For a small moment have I forsaken thee. So you're talking about 2,000 years. That's a small moment in the eyes of the Most High. Because what 2,000 years is what 2 days. In our time, that's
forever.
That's forever. Because a lot has happened in the space of 2,000 years. You're talking about the Byzantine Empire, the amount of wars that's taken place throughout that time. You had the Holy Roman Empire. You had a lot going on, man. You had a lot going on during that time. So a lot of history has been written down. You had the Crusades, the Muslim wars and the Christian wars. You had the Mohammedans, the Mohammeds, the Mohammedites, the Muslims, you know what I'm saying, the founding of Mecca, you know what I'm saying, of Mecca. You know what I'm saying? You had all of that going on. Yeah, the Roman Catholic Church. You had all of that, man. Okay, so it said, verse 7, for a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercies will I gather thee. With great mercies will I gather thee, meaning a great deliverance, man. It says, in a little wrath have I hid my face from thee for a moment.
Yeah. So it's 2 Corinthians 4. I will never forget that. Yeah. Read that again, brother.
Verse 8, in a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment.
Yeah, so what we're going through right now, as we see it, because we're on a lower level, we see this as like hell, like that's unbearable sometimes. But in the eyes of the Lord, this is little wrath, because the Lord sees what He's going to do to us in the future, which is pale in comparisons to what we're dealing with right now. This is why Paul said in 2 Corinthians, right?
2 Corinthians
4 and 17. Let's get this.
2 Corinthians 4. and 17.
Yeah.
For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a more far exceeding and eternal weight of glory.
Yeah.
Why we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal.
Right, for the things which are seen are temporal. All right. So again, what was Paul saying about what we're going through? He said it was light. The affliction was light, because Paul was, you know, saying also what was going to come in the future. All right, and what's going to come of the future? The great blessings of the nation of Israel, which we happen to be, the so-called black, so-called Latinos, and Native American Indians. All right, those of you individuals that come out of the sea line of these people are Israelites. All right, because you got our people that are scattered abroad. They may look like Elamites. You got our people that may look like Edomites. Okay, but if your line is of these people, you ain't got to worry about going into slavery. All right, but if you're a pure-blooded heathen, your ass is going into slavery. Okay, and you ain't got to, and that's something you're gonna have to worry about. But we're dealing with the blessings of Israel right now. You're going, brother.
For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
Right, for the things that are seen are temporal, but the things that you don't see is eternal. And the kingdom of heaven is going to be an eternal society.
Right.
And we're going to have the spiritual bodies to maintain that kingdom, so that that kingdom can literally be eternal.
Right.
All right? This society, which is the last leg of the Roman Empire, this is just temporal. All right? The so-called white man ruling over you, including the so-called Jew ruling over you, that's temporal. Okay? Go on, brother.
It's Colossians. So like it is Thessalonians. 3 and 3. That no man should be moved by these afflictions. For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto.
Right. So it says, for we thus know, right?
You're appointed.
I'll read that again.
Yeah.
But no man shall be moved by these afflictions. For yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto.
Yeah, so these afflictions should not move us, because we know what's appointed unto us. We know why we're going through this. Now, it's worse if you don't know why you're going through this.
Right.
That's why you have a lot of Jakes bugging the hell out.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what the fuck's going on with my life?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Where am I going? This is why you have Jake smoking weed,
Right.
smoking cigarettes, prostitution, what have you, right? All kind of shit. Because Jake can't Jake can't grip as to what's going on.
Right.
But once you know what's going on, you don't need to put yourself on drugs. You don't need to get all out of character. Now you do go out of character, because that's the first kind of experience when you know the truth. When you know the truth, you're gonna get angry, you're gonna get upset. That comes with it. But once you know, you become jaded to the truth, and you understand thoroughly what's going on.
Right.
Go on, brother. And that in itself makes you at peace.
Peace.
For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass.
So
and
it was
you know,
told before that we shall suffer what? Tribulation. What does Micah say? Micah said that it was in him to bear the indignation of the Lord. And that all can apply, that could be applied to us because of what the sins of our forefathers, which we are forefathers coming back in the reincarnation. Go on.
for this cause, when I could no longer forbear, I sent to know your faith, lest by some means attempt to have tempted you, and our labor be in vain. But now, when Timotheus came from you unto us, and brought unto us good tidings of your faith and charity, that ye have good remembrance of us always, desiring greatly to see us, also to see you. Therefore, brethren, we were comforted over you in all affliction and distress by your faith.
Right.
For now we live, if you stand fast in the Lord, Yahawashi.
Right, and that's another key point, that we live because we're in the truth. We're in the presence of the Lord himself. So what makes a man alive is when a man turns back from his wicked ways and returns back to this.
Becomes a living soul.
Then he becomes a living soul, and then his eyes are open. Like Balaam was what is it? His eyes were open. Okay? And he was a living soul too.
Yeah.
Just to convey a point to us. So when we read Numbers 22, we now understand the full picture as to what's going on when it concerns the latter end of Israel. You know? It's like, let's just say you're a brother in this truth and you can't find a woman or whatever. You ain't got to worry about that, because what you had on this side, Salakia, what you're going to have on the in the kingdom, you're going to have that abundantly what you didn't have on this side.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that you didn't have on this side, you're going to get it by the abundance.
Yeah.
All right, you're gonna have a family. Like you can't even. You're gonna have a large family. All right.
Millions, man, millions.
You're gonna have children, and your children is basically gonna be your nation. It says, out of one man shall make a nation. Go on, brother.
You're talking about millions.
Yep.
You're talking about everlasting kingdom, so you're gonna have millions and billions of descendants.
Yeah.
All come from you. You're gonna be like the patriarch of your lineage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's gonna be an eternal breeding.
Basically,
breeding
yeah.
Forever.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So one man is gonna build a nation. You're gonna have your own nation within that nation.
Yeah. You're just one guy.
And you're just one man.
And you got 140. You got 12. Was it 12,000 to each tribe?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And each one of those guys is gonna be a nation.
Yep.
So you can imagine how this one guy, you're talking about 12,000 from one, like Judah alone. And then one of those guys is going to be a nation.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got 100 and, I'm trying to get the numbers right. 12, hold on.
11,000.
I said, yeah, 11, hold on, no.
I know you're coming.
Yeah, 11,999.
That's
right. Is it Judites left?
Right.
And they're all going to have their own nations.
Right.
And then you've got what? Benjamin, Levi, Simeon. We're going to engulf
the whole planet.
Galaxies, bro. You know?
Yep. And that's why, and that's why it says in the book of John 14 that there's mansions.
Mansions,
Yeah.
exactly.
Many mansions.
Which means that the kingdom is going to be forever in construction.
Yep.
It's
Calm.
going to be an eternal building. Man.
Prepare a place for you. You prepare a place. Yeah. Also, we're gonna have planets. All over the planets. You know.
That's right. Man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So this is going to forever build it. Man.
Yep.
And Eva's are going to get put to work.
Yeah, and they gonna work forever too.
Because that's another way that the Most High he shows the heathens what they can't. When they get to see visions and prophesy, he's showing them what they can't have. But in our case, he's showing us what we can have.
Yep.
So that's what we're talking about.
And
we have to be patient.
See, the Most High is perfect in His work because the Lord knew what kind of situation He was going to be in, right? In terms of how we feel of this situation, He knew that this situation was going to be deep for us in terms of it being negative. But this is why He wrote these scriptures down so that we could be comforted, so that when we read these scriptures, we can then understand. Okay, right. So yeah, we're going through this right now, but eventually, this is what we're going to become. You know. Keep going, brother.
Isaiah 64 verse 4. For since the beginning of the world, men have not heard, nor perceived by the ear, neither have the eye seen, O God, beside thee, what He have prepared for him that waiteth.
Exactly. And the men that you see standing here, we're the ones that's waiting for the Lord. And even those that may not be standing here, but they support what we do, they're also waiting too. So the men of the Lord that are waiting for the Lord, this is what He has prepared for them. Things that we haven't even heard of, or things that we've never seen before. Even Paul said the same thing. All right. There's things that men is neither taste, seen, or heard that the Lord has before them.
Wow, man.
You know. So Paul, what was Paul quoting? Paul was quoting what he was reading. You understand? Because at the time, all they had at the time was the Old Testament. They were the making of the New Testament. So they were reading, and they cast their faith on what they was reading concerning the Old Testament. You know? But we believe in these words to be real because, as the scripture says, His words are faithful and true. And also, Isaiah 55 verse 11, so shall my word be that go forth out of my mouth, and it shall not return unto me void. All right? And we're seeing the words of the Lord coming in effect in this reality. We're seeing the preparation of the church. We're seeing the weird things in the sky. We're seeing blue moons, red moons, and all kinds of ways. All right. So these are things that were spoken in prophecy.
Right.
So if the first half of things that have been spoken in prophecy that has happened in this world, how much more the other half?
Right.
That's what we got to look forward to. You understand? You're going, brother.
But then, going back to what I was reading, Isaiah 54 verse 8. In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness will I have mercy on thee, saith Yahawah, thy Redeemer.
You see the comparison? So right now as it stands, really the Most High has never left us in this stage of the game, because he's only dealing with the elect. But let's just say that anyway. Let's just say that the Lord forsake this people, right? Which he did for a particular moment in time. How much more is it going to be when he shows his kindness? How much more is he going to be with us when the kingdom is set up? He's going to be with us eternally. And if that's the case, once you have a creator behind you that created all of this existence, what can he do for us? So just imagine when he is behind us eternally. Man, we're going to be great people. We're going to be people that everybody wants to be like. Even Jake, if you look at Jake on the lower level, right? Everybody wants to be like Jake. So how much more when we're put in a very supreme situation? Come on, man. We're going to be unstoppable. Go on, brother. We're going to be so glorious that even the men of the other nations, they're going to give their daughters up to us. They're not going to think like it's a foul thing to do. They're going to be wanting to give their daughter. They're going to wish that their daughter was born beautiful so that his daughter can marry a Hebrew guy. You understand? That's what's getting ready to happen. Like, you got certain guys, they may not like the idea of having concubines or whatever, but that's what we're gonna have. That's a part of being an Israelite.
That's in the law. Yeah, that's in the law. You see a captive, a woman among the captives.
Yeah.
You mean, if you like her, you take her, and what you do is you shave her head, you pare her nails, and then she mourns, she grieves her loved ones for like a month.
Yep.
And then you can go on into her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's a concubine, that's a lower ranking wife.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's part of the law. You can't do that.
Because they did it to our women. Because you got people on YouTube land taking it like it's taking it personal, getting offended by it. Nothing to get offended, man. It's called, what is it? Women are known as, the spoils of war. Booty. That's where you get the term booty from.
Yeah.
Which means spoils of war. So when we rule over these other nations, we're gonna get the finest out of all of these nations, and they're gonna be our sex slaves.
That's right.
That's just what it is. The black woman, the Negro peon woman, was a sex slave for Esau, right? And they still out today. Let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Right? So how much more in the kingdom? It is what it is, man. It's the truth. Because see, we gotta bring the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Like, you may have certain men that may not like what we're saying or whatever, but that's on you. That's none of my business whether you like what I'm saying or not. My business is bringing you the truth, okay, and showing you what we gonna get on the next go round. That's my business. Going, brother.
So it says, verse 9, for this is as the waters of Noah unto me.
Yep.
For as I have sworn that the waters of Noah should no more go over the earth,
Right.
so have I sworn that I would not be wroth with thee, nor rebuke thee.
Right.
For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee.
You see that? So the same way the Most High made a covenant, and this is why we see the rainbow from time to time. That was a sign that he wouldn't flood the earth anymore. So the Lord is going to make another covenant that he won't be wroth with his people anymore.
But Esau's trying to turn that into some fucking
Pride.
yeah, some gay demon.
Come. And that's why he's going to get jacked up. This is why even the earth and all of the creatures on the earth is going to jack Esau up. Esau's going to get fucked up, man.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. I was clean all day until now. Go on, brother. Like Paul said, though I be rude in speech, but not in knowledge. Go on, brother.
So read that again, verse 10. For the mountains shall depart, and the hills be removed, but my kindness shall not depart from thee.
Right.
Neither shall the covenant of my peace be removed, saith Yahawah, that have mercy on thee.
Right. So his kindness is going to be everlasting. And you know what too? The Lord is not going to have a reason to be harsh against our people. Why? Let's get Hebrews the 8th chapter, because we're going to be under the new covenant. And I always like to bring the scripture out, because this scripture shows you what kind of state we're going to be in, what kind of beautiful state we're going to be in. And it's also mentioned in Jeremiah 31, I believe it is. You can get that in Jeremiah 31 as well. Yeah, Hebrews the 8th chapter.
Hebrews 8. Now of the things which we have
I
spoken.
believe you can get verse, I believe it's Hebrews 8 and 8. Start with 8 and 8. Yours.
Yeah, but this,
It's
I
me,
didn't
innit?
really want to start on there because it's like in the middle of the sentence.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've got to start at the top. Verse 6. But now have he obtained a more excellent ministry,
Yeah, that's the one right there.
by how much also he is a mediator of a better covenant,
Yeah, because we was going into this last week. Yeah, go on.
which was established upon better promises. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he saith, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, Yahawashi, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah,
Yeah.
not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day, when I took them out by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant.
Yeah.
And I regarded them not, saith the Lord Yahawashi, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their minds and write them into their hearts, and I'll be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord Yahawashi, for who shall know me, from the least to the greatest.
Yeah. And that's what's coming, and that's the reason why the Lord is not going to have a reason to be rough with us again, because we're going to do everything right. Because what does it mean by the Lord being rough with his people, sending all these other nations to enslave us? Like the way we went on cargo slave ships.
Yeah.
The way we were bought and sold for. The way it all happened, where the families were separated. That was all of the anger of the Lord. And Jake, I'm pretty sure Jake at that time was bugged out their mind, because they were once at peace in West Africa or Europe, and then to be tossed into slave ships and treated like shit. They didn't understand what was going on. Well, all of us didn't understand what was going on when that happened to us. But now, being that we're in the time of Esau's end, the time of the truth being revealed of who he is and what he'll be in these last times, now we know and understand why we went through that. And we also understand why we're going through what we're going through today, and why the struggle is seem to be eternal, which is not eternal, just for a temporal moment in time. You're going, brother.
I just want to say something, because the reason why the second covenant was established, because the Most High knew there was a fault with the first covenant. Because it says that in the Hebrews, the 8th chapter, right? There was a fault with the first covenant. Because don't think that the Most High didn't know.
No, he knew.
He knew there was a fault. Because he knows the end right from the beginning.
Yes.
So there's not that the Most High, oops, I made a mistake, let me try and fix this. You know, he already knew that there was a problem, but he did it deliberately.
Yeah.
Why? Because there was a learning curve. The Most High wants us to understand the tree of good and evil.
Yeah.
Both sides. He wants us to understand evil. Not just good. In the beginning we knew just good and we were naive.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got enticed by the evil. You know what I'm saying? Knowing good and evil. But the Most High, he only wanted us to understand this good. Alright? But how do you know evil? By going into the laws. That's how you know evil. Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. That's the evil. Okay? So we got into the evil, and the Most High punished us for it. So we started to learn the other side, to understand what it is to be in a world of evil, to be amongst other nations that live by evil, that worship evil. Okay? To be subject to a king by a man who lives by sin. Okay? The son of perdition. Okay? Most High wants us to understand that side of the tree. Okay? So when he does put us on thrones, that we do understand both sides, man. You know, that we're not sitting on those thrones in ignorance, like how we was in the beginning.
Right.
You know, we're actually sitting on those thrones with understanding, wisdom and understanding. You know, we're complete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, we wasn't complete because we didn't know evil. You know? But then when we learned it, the Most High punished us and we had to go through all of these, you know, almost like a journey as a people, man. If you go through the Torah, it's pretty much like a journey was going throughout these millenniums, man. Up until this point right now, the Lord is getting ready to say, yo, you've learned your lesson, you know, you understand now. Now it's time for you to take up your position, as in the beginning. Okay, but I was going to get this. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 34. And lo, it is a custom when the ground have received seed, right? So the ground has received seed, or the sea a ship, right? Or any vessel, meat or drink. Like you put a meat or drink in a cup or a bowl, right? That being perished wherein it was sown or cast into, that thing also which was sown or cast therein or received doth perish and remaineth not with us, right? But with us it have not happened so. Let me read that again. And lo, is a custom when the ground have received seed or the sea a ship or any vessel, meat or drink, that being perished wherein it was sown or cast into, that thing also which was sown or cast therein or received doth perish and remaineth not with us. So if the sea receives a ship, if the sea perishes, then the ship perishes right along with it, right?
Right.
Or if the ground perisheth, right, then the seed that receiveth perisheth right along with it. Right? So it says verse 36. Now listen, for we that have received the law perish by sin, and our heart also which received it. Right? So the law, we've received the law, we perish because we're corruptible, we're mortal. So it says, read again, for we that have perished, so we that have received the law perish by sin, and our heart also which received it. Notwithstanding, the law perisheth not, but remaineth in his force.
Yeah.
Okay, so the law, you know the law, but even though the law is in us, we perisheth, but the law still remains in its force though.
Yeah.
Get what I mean? Why? Because the law is perfect, but we are not. Okay, we're not perfect. That's why the law remains in its force, because the law is perfect. It endureth forever. It's the law of life. Okay? So what did I say? Like I said, like the seed received the ground, the seed goes into the ground, so if the ground perished, the seed perished with it.
Right.
If you put a ship into a sea, if the sea perisheth, then the ship perisheth right along with it. We received the law, we perisheth because we're corruptible, but the law is not corruptible like we are. So the law remains in its force. Because the law comes from the Most High.
Right.
It's perfect. It says it, let me get it real quick. Don't mean to cut you. Well, I'm just gonna come back. This is Psalms. Excuse me. This is Psalms 19 verse 7. The law of Yahawah is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of Yahawah is sure, making wise the simple. So there was a fault. The fault was that the law is perfect, but we are not. That's why we can't keep that which is perfect. We keep sinning. We keep going off. You know what I'm saying? The flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So the Most High had to. So it was a learning curve that we had to go through throughout all these millenniums. Okay? To understand evil. To understand sin. Okay, you want to break my laws? Okay, I'm going to show you a world of sin. I'm going to give you over to the man of sin. And he's going to show you a world of sin. He's going to show you where sodomites and whoredoms and prostitution and pedophilia and all kind of nonsense going on, man. You know, sex changes and swine and all kind of evil, man. Idolatry. He's going to show you a world of sin. So you understand how important it is to do that which is right, man. Okay? So now now we've learned our curve, so the Most High is now bringing in that second covenant and saying, I'm going to now change your vile body and make you perfect, your body perfect. So when I put the laws inside of you, it all fitly joins together. It makes sense like a jigsaw puzzle, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can keep that which is perfect. You can keep it because you are now perfect. You now have the image of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So you can now keep it. You have the strength to keep it. It's no longer a burden. Like how it was for our forefathers. Yeah, man. So that's why. So the Most High didn't make no mistake. It was just a learning curve. It was a schoolmaster. That's what it was. That's all I want to say.
And that's a very good point, because the Lord knew, man. The Most High already knew what the situation is. He put us in this predicament. He put us in His flesh. So He already knew that we was gonna go off or get it right and go off again. It was already written, you know. But again, going back to this, the Most High is not going to be rough with His people again, because we've already learned our lesson. That's for one, but mainly because of the new covenant book going to be under. And that new covenant is going to be, laws enter into our inward parts. And the Lord is going to give us a heart of flesh rather than a stony heart, which allows men to be stiff-necked, or the nation of Israel to be stiff-necked. So that's all going to be gone. That's all going to be tossed aside. And it's going to be a new thing. And all you're going to have amongst the people of Israel are servants to their maker.
Got that precept.
Okay, go on, brother.
It's Ezekiel 36, verse 26. And it's on verse 25. Then will I sprinkle clean water upon you, and ye shall be clean. From all your filthiness and from all your idols will I cleanse you. A new heart also will I give you.
That's it. A new heart will I also give you. So the Most High is going to give us a new mind. And being that that's the case, we're going to walk differently. Because again, we also got to look at us being His creation, right? How the Lord made the body of mankind and woman. So He knows the issues that lie in man. Like what Paul was saying. Paul said, it is not me that sin, but it's sin that dwelleth in me. So the Lord knows and understood this. This is why all of these things are written. Because Paul, now when you look up the word Paul, the word is Allah, which means the mouth of God. Okay? So the reason why I'm using his name as an example, because all of the prophets were Paul's. They had the mouth, they were speaking words of God. So this is why when you read the words of the Lord, these things are written, because it really reflects on our state right now. And I'm talking about mainly the New Testament, because the New Testament goes into the bodies and what have you, and the ups and downs of the flesh, you know. So this is why when you read the New Testament, it talks about these things, because these things are dealing with, these things are what we're dealing with right now, so to speak, you know. Yeah, go on, brother.
This is Ecclesiasticus 18, verse 9, right? The number of a man's days at the most are 100 years.
Yeah.
As a drop of water onto the sea, and a gravel stone in